Hello friends, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. I'm sharing another flip. There's like marks all over this planner. I'm sharing another flip of another Hobonichi Weeks planner that I have in play. I would not consider this to be a planner. This is my health and wellness, because I don't plan anything in here. Like, I write everything in here after the fact. So whatever terminology you think is appropriate for that, journaling, archiving, whatever. But this is my health and wellness journal planner, where I keep track of a lot of things for myself personally. This is the first year I've ever done this, and I've really enjoyed the practice. So let's get started. I get a lot of questions about this cover, y'all. I feel like I answer it all the time. Where is that yellow cover from? So this cover was from Print Pression. Print Pression is no longer an operating shop to my knowledge. He was having Kane, who was the proprietor of Print Pression, was selling these covers. They're fake leather. They're everybody calls them vegan leather, like I guess pleather, fake leather. It's not leather. What is this? Oh, okay. Sorry. Squirrel. He had a sale on this for $10. So I was like, okay, I'm buying it, because I had bought this this Liberty Fabrics Hobonichi Weeks, and I thought it went well together. So I really like it. I just have random bits in here. I have this card. It's from Calixta Creations. Weather, icons, just random stuff. But anyway, like I said, I use this for tracking health and wellness things. There's my vision board. You can make a lot of stuff in Canva for your own personal use. This was a freebie I had in my collection from Luna Lee's Plans. I don't know if she's around anymore. She's on Instagram. So I had these in my stash, and I just cut them to fit. Okay, I had really good intentions with this page. It lasted for 1 quarter. And I was gonna have a yearly tracker for all my headaches and migraines, and a yearly tracker for my walking or gym or workouts. And I just didn't follow through with this. So I don't know if there's a better way that I can track this. I'm not 100% certain what I'm doing in 2026, because I do track my headaches and migraines, but I think it could be helpful to have this information where, when I go see my neurologist, I'm like, yeah, look at how frequently I'm having migraines. So maybe that's what I need to do, just instead of doing headaches and migraines, maybe just track migraines when I have to take meds so that I can see the frequency. This I just did. I track my workouts on my monthly, so it's not necessary. This is my step tracker. This looks so nice to me. I love how filled out this is. So I write how many steps I get every single day. So I moved my goal up, I think, to 12,000, the end of July. So I've kind of struggled here lately, as it's getting darker earlier and stuff. But I did buy a walking pad, and that seems to be helping. So that is my step tracker. And then let's go to my September and October monthly. So I usually film me setting these up, and they're usually on my channel. I'm probably going to make a separate playlist for my health and wellness Hobonichi. I have one Hobonichi playlist. I feel like there's a lot on there, because that's primarily what I use for planning. But this is where I wrote. I am really struggling with words today. Can y'all tell? This is where I write what my exercise, my intentional movement is for that day. I do a lot of walking. I have really been struggling to get in the gym, and I was solid. I was solid for 3 years straight. So I'm hitting a point of just utter exhaustion all the time. I'm in perimenopause. It's a good time over here. But I am walking, but I need to get back in the gym and start lifting weights again. So I write my workouts here. I also have my own personal indicators that I consider to be private, so I don't share those with y'all. And then down here is where I track my sleep and my energy levels. If I miss a day with sleep, that usually means I was charging my Fitbit and forgot to put it back on before bed. But you can see my sleep varies, my energy levels, they're pretty consistent. Sometimes they dip low. I don't have a whole lot of hyperactive moments. I used to, but not so much anymore. And then here is October. And, I like to add stickers and make it pretty, give it a little razzle dazzle, because, I'm more inclined to use my planner if if it's cute and I enjoy working in it. So let's go to my weekly pages. Excuse me. All right, so we'll start with September. I've pretty much been doing the same structure for quite a while now. So this is where I kind of write about like just a summary, my mood, you know, what's going on with me personally in that day, whether I'm feeling exhausted, where I'm like super busy, struggling with productivity, whatever. If I have like annoyance, if I get mad about something, I just write a very brief synopsis about my overall mood. This is where I write my like actual physical symptoms. So I have a lot of migraines. I struggle with those. I remember Labor Day was probably the worst migraine I've had this year. And then it was terrible. I had 4 migraines in 1 week. It was rough. So yeah. And then this is where I write either like something good that happened that day, small wins, gratitude. And sometimes a small win is I went to the gym. Okay. That I was really proud of how well I was managing stress in my life. I went to the gym, even though I didn't feel like it. So medication, 3-hour window, whatever that means. And then I have my habits that support my overall well-being, my overall health, mental health, physical health, whatever. So they're structured there. And then I have like a section for notes. And I usually set these up when I'm filming my plan with me's, but I'll flip through them really quickly. I just experiment. Sometimes I use fountain pen ink. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I use a lot of stickers. Sometimes I don't. I like my washi. I'm getting a little washi hump though. Hyperfixations, y'all. That's watching dog grooming videos, finding a huge notebook, which I didn't buy, and leaf and pumpkin shapes because I was really into watercoloring those. I do get a lot of hyperfixations. And sometimes I don't complete the whole week, but it's fine. Usually that also tells me a story. So we're into October now. Look at this. I just skipped. Like if I get to a point where it's like, I don't want to do this, like, or it's too much to write, I just skip it and then move on with my life. I'm not going to because this is supposed to be a tool for me, so I'm not going to let it stress me out. But I'm going to tell y'all what I really like about like sitting down at the end of the day and like analyzing how I felt that day is it has brought me like so much awareness just about a lot of things, like about, am I managing my emotions well? Am I managing my stress levels well? What can I do to improve? Oh yeah, I didn't do all the things on my to-do list because I'm so exhausted. I have no energy. You know, it really creates like the self-awareness so that I know maybe like moving towards the rest of the week, like what can I do to better support myself, you know, to make sure that I am, you know, eating well. I'm doing all the, you know, all those little things that we got to do for self-care. Not just the fun things that we like for self-care, but also like, am I drinking my water? Am I getting my steps in? Am I, you know, moving my body? Am I getting enough sleep? That type of thing. And then here is the last week of October. So that's pretty good. And then when we move to my tracker section, I made a mess of this section. I thought I could do all my trackers on one page, and then I had like multiple page trackers. It was a mess. So I do have like a doctor visit log. I do have a health log in here. I'm not going to share those. And then I have my trackers. So here is, I had it clipped off so that I could easily access this one. Here's September's tracker. And like I said, I draw these out on my channel every something. And then usually I pin it to where I can easily access, hold on, my health log. So just kind of, I'm struggling. Goodness gracious. And this is just an ollie clip, like a teeny tiny ollie clip. And I think that's it. That's what I'm using it for. So I know for next year I'll have more room. So I'm going to set aside 2 pages for trackers, and then I'll set up some other things in my health and wellness weeks. But I've really enjoyed this practice. I think it's been very helpful. It's given me really good insight, just kind of like into myself, like in general. And it's really given me like moments to pause and evaluate the things that I'm allowing to stress me out too. So anyway, it's just been really good for me. It's also showing me that I have a lot of like perimenopause symptoms, that like brain fog, that brain fog distraction. It's making, life sometimes very difficult for me, but we just keep trucking through. So anyway, that is my Hobonichi weeks that I use for health and wellness tracking. Just let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer those. I will talk to you all soon. I hope y'all have a fabulous day. Bye.